Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you.
For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just go to getcopperhead.com. That's getcopperhead.com for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Getcopperhead.com.
Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
We are live. Oh my goodness, what is going on? It is Wednesday. I see some people trickling in. And let's just get started. What is going on? You are watching and, of course, listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we're here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. I am your host, Stevie V, alongside Cody Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. So lovely to see your face tonight, darling.
It is. For those of you that listen to this show on Thursday when it does drop, know that we do a video version of this show. You can get it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/tags podcast. Or the best way to get it is to go to our Tags Patreon community, where I post a lot of behind the scenes content that you will only get there. It's free. You can also get this version of it there. I post that version of it on Thursday as well. And it's kind of fun sometimes because you can see our mugs, you can see our expressions. And yeah, so we do 2 versions of the show each week. So much to get into. This is episode 681. Speaking of that Tags Patreon community, if you choose to grab a tier and support Tags podcast, I just dropped a brand new bonus episode just this morning that is exclusive, topics that you're only going to get on the Tags Patreon community. And that's what's kind of cool when you get bonus topics, bonus tags. We love that. You can also get things like commercial free as well. And when you do so, you are supporting the show you've come to know and love, which is Tags Podcast, and we really appreciate it. Simply go to patreon.com/Tags Podcast and grab a tier. You can also just simply get that one particular episode. If you don't want to grab a tier, you can just buy that one as well. So Lots of options, and we are here for you. Oh my gosh, so much to get into, Cody, on this episode. We were like paring it down, but we first have to talk about a San Francisco drag queen by the name of Hilary Rivers, who was detained by ICE after an asylum hearing. Essentially, she has been here legally from Central America for a while and has been performing as Hilary, as I mentioned, Hilary Rivers. And she went to her asylum hearing on June 26th, but she was detained by ICE. And he attended a scheduled asylum hearing, like I said, on June 26th, where the government attorney moved for his case to be dismissed, but the judge denied that motion. As he left the court, he was arrested. And it's now believed that Rivers is being held in Golden State Annex, an ICE detention center outside of Bakersfield. And it's really sad because Rivers was legally admitted to the U.S. through CBP, a Biden-era program that allowed around 900,000 migrants to cross the U.S.-Mexico border legally. Yeah. Well, as we all know, Trump has signed and canceled the program and revoked parole status for all immigrants who entered the country. And Cody, we were told that it was always going to be those criminals, those basically rapists, drug lords, that they were going to, not drag queens that were coming over here legally for asylum. That's always been a part of the American way, that you could come here if you needed asylum. We welcome immigrants in general. To detain someone like this, when you hear this, and San Francisco is up in arms, they released a whole statement showing their support for Rivers and encouraging community members to write letters to him. They reject this attack on detaining him. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is happening way too often, and it's beyond reprehensible. The fact that they even revoked the valid status of this human being, and because they're here for asylum, they're not here just to party and to live frivolously. They're here on asylum because they were afraid for their lives in their country of origin, which was it's vague, but it said Central America. So This person is hurting no one, like you said. They said they were going to remove all of the killers and the drug dealers and things of that nature, but this person has been an upstanding part of their community, and they've been a light and a joy. They were in a drag competition, for Christ's sake. So it's something that there's no rhyme or reason as to why this person is being expunged from the country. And I think that it's just so sad and so ridiculous. And more people need to be standing up to this, like Karen Bass in LA, the mayor of LA, because she made one phone call and ICE was sent packing. So I need for more people to do what they can do and use their power and their leverage, because we still have power. So use their power and their leverage to do the right things.
Yeah, showing up for your case that you are legally entitled to do after you've been here on asylum under a program that was already established, and then to have ICE agents standing literally outside of the court where you think you're safe. They are doing this here in New York. They're doing this in major cities. Yep. It is horrific, and it almost makes you think like, well, this particular person, Hilary, her drag name, was going about it the right way, showing up for her court case, and now she's detained. Now, who knows where she's gonna, and it's just,
They aren't thinking about that. They aren't thinking about when this person is in this detention center, are they being treated fairly? They don't care. When Hilary gets back to her country of origin, how is she going to be treated there? They don't care. They don't know. They don't care. They're treating them as subhumans, and I think that it's completely ridiculous. The border czar, Tom Hammond, he was questioned about Zoran Mamdani about non-cooperation, and he said he's going to continue to flood the streets here because he knows that this is where the problem is in New York City. So,
wow,
we need to keep an eye on these people because they are. It's just ridiculous. It's getting way out of hand, and we have to start fighting back.
Yeah, absolutely. We are live. Hi. Is Durand here with us? Hello, yes. James. Hello, Diego in the other room. Hi. We've got a lot to cover on this episode. Well, also in the news, breaking news, Pope Leo, the brand new Pope, will actually now bless same-sex unions, despite what he decried as the homosexual lifestyle. And because he was actually interviewed in May on, will you actually bless same-sex couples? What do you think about same-sex marriage? He actually seemed at the time, Cody, that he was going against Pope Francis, the former Pope, and actually not going to. It seems like he's just going to go in the same way that Pope Francis was. In other words, if you feel that you are a couple, same-sex union couple, not married, and you feel like you are practicing the Catholic religion and you feel like you need this blessing, they're not going to do everybody, but you can kind of apply for this blessing. But so for my example, if I'm going to get married, which I am this year, I probably couldn't apply for this because then they would ask us, are you going to get married? And under the current Catholic law, they do not believe, like Pope Francis and Pope Leo. I don't feel like I need this blessing, nor does my partner Diego. But I guess it's it's just going in line with. And I don't know. I feel as gay people, we've had to find our way. Many of us grew up with religion and Catholicism that we looked up to, and it's never always spoke to us, and it's always based it on certain scriptures. I think we have to find the nuanced side. This is nothing new for us. As gay people, we are warriors. I will use that word specifically because I think we have to find our own way and what makes sense to us. As somebody that grew up as a Catholic, yeah, I still pray. I still have a belief in a higher power, but I don't need this blessing from the Pope. But I still am looking up to him as this new Pope with a little bit of, I don't know. I'm not negative about it. I'm a little bit positive. So, yeah. And hopeful. I think, but that's been the gay agenda for me as I've grown up for years and years. We've always had to find our way. We will continue to have to find our way. This is nothing new. What do you say to this?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I grew up Catholic too. And just like you, I believe in a higher power. I don't necessarily know or make conjecture if it's a man in the sky or if it's a seagull or aliens. I don't know. But I think there is a higher power. And I believe that we can be in touch with that higher power through many means. So I feel like this is a step in the right direction for the Catholic Church and for this Pope, because for a minute there, we were pretty unsure as to what direction he was going to go in. So this tells me that he is about progress and about evolution and kind of evolving the Catholic Church's their repertoire or their views on a lot of things, because for a long time, we know that they're immutable and they were not up on gay marriage at all. So this is, I think, a step in the right direction for them. And your situation and hearing what you said about like not needing this blessing and the union and all that kind of stuff is kind of convoluted. But I guess if you were in the Catholic Church enough to want this blessing, then you definitely couldn't be married. So I don't know. It's just neither.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in our meeting, how it gets exactly what you're saying. We were talking about like, how do we really break down this story? Because it really sets the stage of, if you felt that you needed this blessing, you could apply for this from the Pope. On the other hand, you could never then apply or get married, and you would have to be okay with that under the jurisdiction of the way their stance has been from Pope Francis to now Leo. And if you're okay with that, I say go. I just go back to what I initially said is, as gay people, we've always had to navigate our journey with so much people coming towards us, not wanting us to be a part of the general population. Shunning. And this is nothing new. And so I say everybody will have to make up their, and I'm all about nuance these days. I mean, I think it's just part of our DNA as gay people that we've had to really make that decision throughout years and years and years. And it's nothing new, and I'm here for it. But yeah, that's the current stance. Also in the news, many of you follow Grindr or are on Grindr. We had to talk about this story because Grindr.
What's that?
Yeah, right. Well, and I have a question for you once I tell the story, because Grindr former employees have been pushed out and are fighting to get their jobs back. And this has been going on since a couple of years now, when almost 2 years ago, 82 out of the 178 employees, that's 46% of the staff, were let go after refusing to return to an office mandate. Well, Grindr United was a union that many of the workers fought to get because they felt like they needed a seat at the table, because the current CEO, who is gay, has actually said he was for Trump and had a lot of controversial beliefs. Well, for years during the pandemic, a lot of the employees could work from wherever they lived. Well, now they were forced to come into one of the major cities 2 days a week. So we're talking cities like DC, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. They had to, and according to Grindr, in a statement, they said that they were given a package that would allow them to move to one of these cities. They say they weren't let go. They said that they were, chose not to move to one of these cities. But the union that many of these employees said basically states that we were pushed out, and they put this implementation of you have to move to one of these cities when the union was put into place. So again, this has been going on for 2 years. I just think you need to know this when you are on one of those sites. You're on one of these sites. You use it all the time, if I'm not mistaken.
I just told you I didn't know what I was.
Am I right that you use it?
Yes, I use it. Yes, Steve. Yes.
You have also given me a hard time when DEI was imposed on Target, and I said I was going to Target on 23rd Street, and you're like, you still go to Target? I'm like, it's very nuanced, but whatever. Yes, I went to go buy something at the Target down the street. You still use it. Are you okay with this, knowing that some of these employees, a huge fraction, have trying to unionize? They're not listening to them, and they're trying to get their jobs back. Are you still okay using this to find your next hookup?
It's very nuanced, just like you said. I didn't know that
this whole show is called Nuance.
I didn't know that this was coming. You didn't say this in our meeting.
I didn't, but I thought
surprise attack
that I was thinking about and formulating in the shower.
Sneak attack. I see you, bitch. Okay. You know what? I am not okay with this. I think that Sniffies is a much better product anyway, and I'm going to boycott Grindr until do you believe that at all?
I do not, but
I think that this should be taken very seriously. I do think that when this happened, it's very convoluted, honestly, if you ask me, because they were rightfully let go because they didn't want to move to these cities. So I am kind of two minds on this. I see the company, but I see that they used that mandate in order to get rid of the union. So I think that's something that should be addressed. I think what you're
saying, and I think you stated it right, we did do this in our meeting because it was a little convoluted, and one of the things we want our listeners to understand is how this actually went down. What we're understanding based on the stories and what we've heard and read is that the only reason the unionization happened because the gay people wanted a seat at the table to make changes to an app that reflects our community. The mandate in major cities happened after the union was formulated. As a result, like, okay, now you have to move to these cities to kind of get rid of some of these employees.
Yeah, in order, because I feel
that's
like
how we understand it. That's how we understand the story. And if that's true, then that is really big business trying to get rid of the voices and trying to say, shut up, and here's what we will do. Where it stands, I don't know. Here's what we did talk about in our meeting, that I do think unionizing a company, if I was one of these employees, I think I would, if I was already working for Grindr and I wanted to have a seat at the table and they weren't letting me, I don't know that union is always the right matter for a business like this. There's so many they could move on to Sniffies, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. There's Scruff. There's a bunch of other apps that your skill set could probably work and that might represent you a little bit more, rather than unionizing for a company that went public. I don't know that you really have a case. That's just kind of my back end story on this. Unions are a whole thing. I used to be a part of SAG-AFTRA, which was rightfully, I feel, representing actors. Grindr is it's another tech app company.
Yeah.
I get that they wanted a seat at the table, but if it's not representing you, then maybe quit and join, like apply for a related app that represents you. That's just kind of how I am. Again, this whole show is called Nuanced. How do you weigh in on it?
No, because
some of you are live. We want to hear from you, but what do you say, Cody?
yeah, because it, like you said, it's nuanced because these people believe in this company and this app basically because it serves so much of the community. So I think a lot of them want their jobs back in order for them to be able to provide for the community and in this way. So I think that they want to do that through Grindr. And I kind of think that they honestly, their voices are really needed here because right now the voice that is speaking loudest for them is of this CEO that has all of these backwards ideas. So I feel like for me, I'm definitely, I got a subscription. So after the subscription, then I'll stop using it. Okay. And then in the meantime, I will try and get these people's jobs back. I'll do everything I can to support them in that because you're right. It is a worthy cause. And I am, I hold people's feet to the fire. So my feet on the fire. So then we're all good. I know how to dance a little bit. So we'll be good to go.
I mean, I hear you. I think it's a worthy cause, but I also think at the end of the day, it's a job. It's not a nonprofit that they work for. True. It is a job. And if you don't like and believe in the CEO and the company that you work for, then move on to another job. And starting a union is a whole thing. And while I support them, and I don't know, I definitely don't endorse the CEO and the practices that we've seen with Grindr, I also think then you got to just move on in this case. That's how we want to hear from you. Let us know. And you can put your comments, you can formulate them, and we'll get to it throughout the show. But we've got to move on. And this was really interesting to me and exciting because a teen dazzled prom in full drag as teachers and peers cheered him on. And I love that about that. It was basically, it all went down when a 16-year-old UK high school student was met with utter glee from his teachers and classmates when he showed up to prom in full drag, dazzling in hot pink Barbie-inspired dress, a beehive blonde wig, and ornate pink smoky eyes. It was Elfie Smith. Considers himself one of the youngest drag queens in the UK. He performs under the name ESME Doll, a persona he told Pink News is probably the biggest contributing factor to who I am today. And the amount of support that he got, I mean, can you remember when you went to your prom? I mean, would this go down? It's kind of fabulous. I mean, we will post this on tagspodcast.com because it's pretty fabulous and I love it. As we move on, because I have 3 stories that I'm trying to pair up, you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So we applaud them. But there was a gay progressive hot daddy who blasts bozos, his words, bozos, using his pic for right-wing memes. What am I talking about? A gay content creator with tens of thousands of followers shared on Threads that a far-right account is using his picture in their right-wing memes. And on Monday, Anthony Gordon, an LA-based makeup artist and content creator, uploaded a post to the social networking platform that called out the account. And under his account, he shared the meme using his picture with the text on the photo that reads, "Remember, boys, they keep calling us far right." If you looked at this picture, is it a cowboy hat? He's got tats. He looks super masculine, super daddy. Am I right, Cody?
Oh, yeah. And it's not only like him looking like a daddy, it's also he doesn't look like, there is a stereotype that a lot of gay guys look polished. He doesn't really look polished. He looks like very rough and tumble, which is still very hot.
Right. So when we were talking in our meeting, I thought, let's go from the story of a UK 16-year-old that chose to go to prom in drag, full-on drag, and was supported. Now we have this daddy who is a makeup artist, but the right in the US used his picture to say on their side that this is where we need to go back to. So there's the hyper masculine. And then we go back to somebody that we were talking about the other day we were talking about your music, Cody, your brand new single, which, by the way, if you haven't downloaded already, it's called I Don't Want to Fight by Cody Maurice. You can get it wherever you download your music. It's so good. But we were talking about the amazing time that we're in of queer artists, that people like you, and then we mentioned Frankie Grande, and one of our co-hosts said he was a little bit, he rubs him the wrong way. Sometimes people rub people the wrong way, but Frankie Grande has gone viral, ignited a whole conversation online based on his performance recently at, where was he performing at? Alongside Kim Petras. Boston's event stage when they did Pride. He did a whole slew of songs, some of his current songs, including a whole Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation moment. He got the whole choreography of If down. It's, I think, very amazing, but a lot of people called it, he's too much. And are we calling it femmephobia? So the question to you is, when we're so accepting, I feel, and we were talking about this in our meeting, of drag queens. When somebody does drag, we're like, yes, bitch, yes, go, go, go. And when somebody's super hyper masculine, we're like, yep, yep. And they're using us even in the right. But when a gay guy is maybe owning both sides, his femininity at times, even within our own community, do we have a problem with that? Whether you like Frankie Grande or not, you can't look at that performance and not think it's fierce in many ways. Whether you like him or not, I don't particularly like him that much, but that was fierce, what I saw. Yeah. And if I was there live, I would be like, yes, I would be giving him snaps. Do we have a problem within our own community of accepting that gay men just being themselves, often with some femininity?
Oh, yeah. I definitely think there's femmephobia out there. And I think that it is more prevalent than we like to admit, because what does it say about us that there's femmephobia out there? It says that despite all of our evolution and all of our espousing of being so welcoming to the people that aren't part of the binary, that really we are kind of caught up and adhere to the binary. And it takes a lot of unlearning all of that type of stuff. So when we see somebody that is male presenting that acts a lot more feminine, then that it just sets a trigger off in a lot of people. And I think that it's something that we should really explore. And if you find yourself thinking these thoughts about how Frankie Grande dancing in a effeminate way or looking effeminate, then that's something to ask yourself. I think we have come a long way as a society in general, especially in the LGBTQ plus community. But I think that there are a lot of holdovers as far as the adhering to the binary are concerned.
Yeah, you bring up some really amazing points. And I do think you said something about the mirror that I think we all need to look in the mirror a little bit. I said on the last episode, 680, that we did with Jeremy Ross Lopez, that, sometimes when I go out at night, I'll put like some concealer under my eyes and some powder to take away the shine. I've had people like in my friend group, and I love them dearly and it's no problem, but they almost like tease me to a point that's a little bit of a, ooh, you wear makeup. Like, why do you wear makeup? And I'm like, well, A, because I get to do whatever I want, but B, right? I'm doing it because because I can. And but more importantly, why do you have a problem with that? Right. That I do. It's like, I think we still have a problem. Like, we are okay. And the reason I wanted to do these stories, and we often do this in our meetings, we pull these stories together, is like, we're okay with somebody being in drag and like, yes, girl, like, serve it. And we're okay with the hyper masculine guy over here who is being used by the far right at times. And we're like sympathetic to him being used in that way. But we're not always okay, even within our own gay community, with somebody that would just be a little bit feminine and expressing themselves, but be gay and owning it. We're not there, and we're not okay within our own community. And it's a conversation that I think we need to continue to have. It's like, what is it that triggers that? Like, why aren't we okay with certain things of that nature? And it's a conversation that it's not going to end tonight, but I want to continue to have this conversation. It's why we have this platform. And yeah, I just think it's important. And you discussed it a little bit about your single and your artwork.
Oh yeah. Well, it's suggestive and sexual, and people are uncomfortable with. I think a lot of this stuff is what society has taught us, and it's not teaching us the right things. We're not being brought up right. We're not being brought up to be closed-minded, I feel like, in a lot of ways. And I think that as we grow and we evolve and we, get older and experience new things, we realize that a lot of the stuff that we were taught when we were younger is those rules are fucking lies, basically. So I'm doing my best to unlearn a lot of those things, but it's still a struggle. Even I am like, I have a makeup now. I don't want to leave it on somebody's pillow, so I'm going to wipe it off before I go out. Yeah, I'm going to hook up, so I'm
we are on media.
I can have this on.
Well, yeah. That's the other crazy thing. Is like, I have been in media for years, done photo shoots. It's like, from the moment that I was in front of the camera as a model being hired, they put makeup on me.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you.
For a limited time, you can get a free pocket pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just go to getcopperhead.com. That's getcopperhead.com for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Getcopperhead.com.
Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Any male model wears makeup, so shut the fuck up if you don't think that male models that you see, that you adore, your porn people that you watch are not wearing makeup. It's like, whatever, everybody, get over yourselves. But makeup has been a part of theater and everything else. Anyways, I don't want to harp on it too much, but James watching us live, because we are live, says, I love the new Cody song.
Oh, thank you.
And it's worth mentioning, of course, and we will continue to mention Cody Maurice, as he's going by, dropped his brand new single, I Don't Want to Fight, and it's wherever you get your music, and it's really a bop. It's so good, and get it while it's hot. Doug, watching us live, says, my father is a 70-year-old straight man who uses concealer. He has a pimple or two to cover up a blemish. Right, exactly. It's like, whatever, people. But
get it, Doug said.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, we've got to move on. And we were talking about Sniffies, right? We were going to go to cruising, correct?
Oh, yes. Let's do that.
Was our, yeah. Speaking of Sniffies, if you're over Grindr, you can go to Sniffies, and Sniffies now allows all users to explore cruising opportunities across the globe. What does this mean? Well, it now means that if you know it's travel season, that you're going to go to Barcelona, hello Durand, or anywhere else, you can actually implement a safer feature that will allow you to actually cruise in that area. Like, who do you want to meet up? The new perk unlocks the ability to preview who else is looking for some steamy action online and even engage with local groups in real time. Plus, the app includes built-in safety protection for high-risk regions, including enhanced anonymity for travelers. I like this. What do you say to this, Cody?
Oh, I love it. Because I subscribe to Sniffies as well. I must have just money to throw around because, or I really like hooking up. I have. So I've been able to do this. Like, throw my profile to another place for quite a while, actually. It's very fun. You can go into incognito mode as well when you have premium. So yeah, Sniffies is great. I love being able, when I was in Kansas, sometimes I would just put my profile here in New York City and just talk to guys and be like, oh yeah, it wasn't, I mean, maybe I was just preparing for when I was coming back. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, you bring up really good points when you were in a place that was maybe a little bit more rural. That you could put that out there. Part of cruising isn't necessarily that you're going to do anything. A lot of it is flirting. And in fact, there was a whole story on Gay Cities, somebody that interviewed me recently about this issue about travel and cruising, but they did a whole recent thing by Ian Helms asking the question or telling people cruising 101, what to know before heading out and hooking up. And basically, we talk a lot about cruising. What is cruising? Well, we all know what it is, but according to them, cruising is the act of seeking casual sexual encounters, typically in public or semi-public spaces. And while it might sound outdated in the era of hookup apps, it does remain a thrilling, often liberating way to engage with often a tactile, immediate way. So what are some popular cruising spots? Well, think things like parks and trails, public restrooms, gyms and saunas, bars and clubs, interstate rest stops, beaches, and of course, airports, which I don't know about that last one because when I'm on yeah, well, I don't do layovers, thank God, ever, if I can help it. And I feel like when you do a layover, you're a little funky, and I don't want that, Valerie Cherish. So
I think I told this story before on here. When I was flying back from Kansas, I had a layover in someplace, Denver, I think, and I had never been to the Denver airport. And I got on my Sniffies. Me and this guy got together.
In the restroom.
We went to the restroom and we did the it right in the stall. And when we came out, there was a long line.
I love it. Fabulous.
It was fantastic. It was a great experience. And I would 10 out of 10 do it again.
So somebody recently on Reddit asked the question like, what's cruising 101? How do you cruise? I have a hard time telling if someone's into me. Well, this whole article, I'll post it on tagspodcast.com and including on our Tags Patreon community. Cruising etiquette. Number one, be aware of local laws. This is always, you do not, in an era of Diddy and everything that's going on in Austin Wolf, Diddy and Austin Wolf do not get arrested.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of be aware of the local laws and what's going on. And you still have to be aware, especially with everything that's going on with ICE and everything. But if you're going to do it, things like making eye contact are so important. That's one that even when I have cruised in our local, I talk about it a lot, the New York Eagle, they have a cruising area. You know it as well. Often in back rooms in Europe, they have these cruise areas in the back. If somebody doesn't give you eye contact, Cody, it's a no-go. Are you with me or not?
Oh, definitely. It's like and it has to be a look. It just can't be like, oh, them glancing at you. It has to be like, ooh, a feral, just visceral look. Like, ooh, I want you, and these eyes want to penetrate you. That's what the look is.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, go for the main deal. They also say things like use body language. Start with eye contact. A playful glance, a coy grin, or a lingering look are classic. Subtle positioning shifts can show interest or not without words. And of course, body language is a huge one. You can grab your crotch, but if they don't respond to that, don't go there. Come prepared. I like this next one. Bring condoms, lube, anything else you might need, even if you're on PrEP or practicing other STI prevention methods. Condoms are still a common courtesy for any partner. That's a good. We've gotten so out of using condoms, but what if you met somebody that wasn't on PrEP? And with what's going on in health insurance, that could be taken away, perhaps. Maybe we got to start putting those condoms back in our pockets.
Yeah. Funny thing, I travel with lube all the time. It's always in my backpack, not my back pocket, but in my backpack.
I love it. Just for the
occasion.
Always be prepared. Dress for the occasion. Wear clothing that's easily taken off. Well, you're always in a crop top, and I always have a jock strap on. Yeah, easy access. I have shorts. You have shorts that can zipper down. Be ready to go.
Yeah.
This one I actually really like. We'll discuss. Respect the vibe. If someone doesn't return your glance or engage with you, move on politely. That's a biggie. And we all know that feeling where you're into somebody, you've seen somebody, you're hot for them, but they're not returning the energy, glance, or anything that I've mentioned. It's hard. I get it. But it's so much easier, I can tell you, just to move on and go to your next
quest.
Yeah. Do you agree with that one?
Oh, yeah. Consent is key. You have to make sure that the person that you're, lusting after is lusting after you too. It's just so much hotter that way. You don't want somebody to be half-assing it the entire time. So definitely.
Yeah. In the early days, I would have thought, oh, it's a conquest and they will like me. Oh, I still take that in friends or people that I meet, not for sexual measures, but you will like me. It's very Sunset Boulevard, Norma Desmond. I just can't help it. But yeah,
I'm more I will always
have that. Yeah, that too. But this last one I think is really good. Trust your instincts. Always be aware of escape routes in cases of a situation. This is really important. If you're out and about in a park or somewhere that is, maybe illegal to be doing what we're doing, you need to really be aware. And in times like this where we report on things of hate crimes, you just got to be aware of what's around you. And that's why I cruise in establishments that already welcome it and have it within a contained system. But if you're going to do it in public parks, restrooms, airports, and so on and so forth, just be aware. Be aware.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say on that. Apparently, you have nothing else to say on that too. Okay.
You said it all, honey. You said be aware, and that's facts, honey. As soon as I came out the bathroom, I made a beeline to the next terminal so I couldn't get arrested.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, there is a brand new study that came out. Are gay guys more interested in LTRs, long-term relationships, than hookups? A new study says yes. Contrary to popular belief, gay men might not be as promiscuous as the stereotypes, and years of unfortunate anecdotal evidence led us to believe, according to a new study by the dating app Archer, the social first platform, which is owned by the Match Group, which owns Tinder, they own Hinge. They surveyed more than 550 users to determine what gay men really want. Well, here's what they found. Actually, most people want a relationship over a hookup. Is that surprising to you?
No. I mean, that's how I operate most of the time.
6 times more likely to be trying to find a husband than a hookup. And furthermore, another users were 3 times more likely to say they're looking for a love story than random sex. And the most desirable attributes in a partner responded citing green flags like communication and emotional intelligence as way more important than steamy chemistry. Is this surprising?
Well, the whole steamy chemistry part, because that's what I look for in an in a relationship, period. I think that, I get the emotional maturity, but I feel like I want the whole package. I guess I'm selfish, but I think that is something that's very important. The other things really don't surprise me. I think that, we're human beings as well. Again, we were raised in home heteronormative spaces, and that's all of this is part of heteronormativity and growing up with two people and monogamous relationship or what have you. I guess maybe this could also include non-monogamous relationships as well. But I do think that this is something that that's been ingrained in us to look for love. And you know what? Love feels good. So why the hell not?
Yeah. I was just responding to somebody that said something in our thing.
Yeah, I was listening to you. I was going to respond after you started going. So good job.
Well, let me just say, on our last story, somebody watching us live said, "Am I the odd man out here? This is risky behavior." Talking about, I'm assuming, cruising, and it's wild that you're encouraging this. We're not encouraging this. We're simply reporting on what people are doing. So
also,
I said, you never said, I don't think we ever said we were encouraging this.
Yeah.
And as a reminder to this show, we report on a lot of pop culture phenomenons that are happening. I have to say this a lot. And we give our take on it. We are not, and we are simply stating what the phenomenon is and what it is. And we're giving our take on it. And often our take is, somebody recently said, you report on something, you say, and like, yeah, I'm not shying away on my take on anything. But we get an opinion, but we're reporting on what's going on.
Yes, we speak on our experiences, which is what I was going to say. These are most of the times what we're talking about from our perspective. I think that in the cruising segment, we both definitely spoke on how we operate as far as cruising is concerned. And we definitely said that be as safe as possible if you're going to do this type of thing. We're definitely not saying everybody should be doing it because not everybody's built for it. So, yeah.
And I don't hate you. We're live. I definitely don't hate you. I'm just clarifying. But sorry, go back to what you were saying, Cody.
What was I saying? I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about, relationships. I forgot what the point I was going to make. I feel like I spoke enough on it, though. I feel like, just to sum up my thoughts on that, I feel like this is something that I feel like we as gay people, we love. So I think that definitely, and people love being in love in general. It just feels amazing. So why wouldn't we want to be in love?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this study doesn't surprise me. I think we've talked a lot about at the top of the show that our community is in this show is really nuanced, from the Pope to ICE, and none of these stories that we were talking about are 100%, the Grindr story. Yeah. Like, I don't know that I'm totally for these Grindr employees and them forming this union, and 2 years later, they haven't really gotten it together, and they're still crying wolf on why. I don't know that I'm on their side. I think this show is labeled nuanced, and I will put that in tomorrow's thing.
Perfect.
I think exactly with this whole thing that we're talking about right now, too. It's nuanced, and I think a lot of people think that gay men just want a hookup, but the men I talk to, we want to hook up, but we also want to find somebody to share a life with. Yes. We are not unlike many human beings that want a connection. And so this show should really be called Nuanced in many ways. We are many things. We are not a monolith, and we exist.
Yeah, because you know what? A lot of guys do want to hook up. I've hooked up with a lot of guys. I've also hooked up with a lot of guys with boyfriends.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong there. And to our benefit, and to our, like, many of my straight male counterparts are so like, oh, I'm so jealous. You guys get to have so much fun. And I'm like, we do. And sometimes we get to do it in an open relationship. And sometimes we get to do it while we're waiting to find Mr. Right. We are all of those things. things and
Yeah.
stop putting us in this one category that says that we have to be this, that, or the other.
Oh,
And we don't need
they're
the
all of those
Pope's
things.
blessing. We can get it on our own without him.
Come on, call back.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna roll today, but I'm sassy and I'm here, and let's move on to some more advice to this one, which kind of relates to, we love giving advice on this show, and you can always write into us, whether it's sex or relationship advice. This one was put in by Reddit, and it's entitled Opposites Attract. Couldn't wait to do this one with you. Right? How they write, how do you guys feel about this? I seem to only be attracted to men that are a lot different than me. If they're from another country, I'm immediately attracted. If they dress differently than me, immediately attracted. Different ethnicity than me, immediately attracted. My first ex was from a very wealthy family, and I was brought up poor. And he even admitted to me at one point that he was a big reason why we had he was attracted to me. I'm really chill and easygoing, yet tend to be attracted to those who get worked up and have tempers and nag and try to get bossy with me. Ooh. Opposites attract, and I am here for it. My partner, my fiance, we are very different and opposites, but we do have a lot in common as well. And I think we celebrate, for the most part, each other's differences. And sometimes we bend, and like, he loves hiking. I was getting into hiking before I met him, but he really got me more deeper into hiking. I'm into cooking and cooking healthy. He's gotten into cooking healthy as well. Although we had a little disagreement tonight, but we worked it out. But yeah, we worked it out.
Good.
But I think opposites do attract. We always see those couples that are like, they look alike, and those always are the ones that creep me out. I'm just going to be real.
They look like brothers.
They do. They do. And
boyfriend.
I do not, believe it or not, I do not want to fuck myself. I've had a moment. There's a whole exercise that we've talked about on this show that you can get in touch with yourself and look in the mirror, and that's an exercise. But I don't want to fuck myself. I want to fuck somebody different than me. This idea that, like, I'm so grossed out by that too. When I do, I'm just gonna say it. When I see those that look like brothers, I'm like, what is the matter with you? What haven't you dealt with in life that your partner looks exactly like you?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. So I do want to fuck myself. I was like, Steve's not gonna like my take in just a second. But yeah, I do want to fuck myself. I actually saw somebody that kind of looked like me, and I was like, damn, I need to fuck him right now.
Like you.
Yeah. There's a guy on Instagram, or he lives in New York, and
but what does that say? What's the narcissism behind?
But also,
because I have grown to, like you've talked about on this show about, I think you were just talking on the last episode on how people didn't admire people that look like us, brown people, and how it took a long time to like, and I've talked ad nauseum about what it took to be proud of myself and be proud of what I look like. That being said, I still don't want to fuck myself. People that have like pictures of themselves on their screensavers on their phone, really, I don't get. It's a red flag for me. I just don't. I mean, I don't get it, and I never will.
My single artwork. So
all right.
Okay, all right.
But I also just think, like, what is it that
you haven't worked out? I think. Oh my goodness. I think for me, it's probably a little bit of insecurity, and it's self-esteem building for me. But also the whole one, I want to fuck myself, is I think I'm really cute. And I also want to fuck a lot of people, and a lot of different people, a lot of different types of people. So I don't really think it's a whole narcissism thing. I just think it's that at the end of the day, I do find myself attractive. And I also, that would lend itself to me finding somebody that looks like me attractive. Does that make sense?
The only way it makes sense is because, as many people know, and I say sometimes at the end of the show that you can go to, and I haven't posted in a while, and I'm getting to come back to this moment in time of my not suitable for work content that I will suggest again at the end of the show. I have had to edit my content, and I'm looking at myself either solo work or having fun with somebody else for the purposes of putting out there for consumption. And I've had to look at myself, and there's a lot of people that can't even look at themselves in pictures. I can look at myself in the deed. I can look at myself doing a solo job work and be somewhat, but I'm a former video editor, and I can look at it objectively like, okay, do I look at it in this angle and I'm going to make myself look the best that I can look? I don't typically get too excited about it other than I just want myself to look the best that I can look. I don't want to fuck myself. I tend to be attracted to people that don't look like me. I've never been that narcissistic. I just want myself to look the best that I can look. I hear what you're saying. I get it. I think that's a common thought of many people, that people go a different direction and they all of a sudden like they want to fuck themselves and all that. Great. I think that's great. It will never be me. I just want to make myself in my social media and my not suitable for work just look the best that I can look. And I don't like to talk about myself too much. If you know, I just put it, when I do put it out there, I put it out there. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I let it go.
Yeah.
I just,
I'm going to say this just to like put a pin in it on my side. I sent a video to somebody today, a spicy video, and it got me a little verklempt, a little hot. So maybe I need to do some work with my therapist. The thing about having somebody that is different than you in a relationship, for me personally, what it boils down to, as far as that's concerned, is differing personalities. I feel like for me in a relationship, I would like to have somebody that is a little bit more driven, a little bit more type A, because I'm very lax. I'm very laid back. I'm usually very calm unless you piss me off, in which case I'm a firecracker. But yeah, so in that respect, I feel that is where I especially look for, because all that other physical stuff really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it comes down to personality and am I attracted to you? So
excellent points. And how do we vibe with people? It's like you're going to spend hopefully the rest of your life with this person. Do they inspire you? They're your friend as well too. They hopefully turn you on as well. So yeah, brilliant points. Somebody watching us live says, if someone has their picture as their screensaver and phone lock picture the same as their IG with every post is them in different poses, drives me crazy when I see this.
Not follow me.
It's a thing.
Girl. Yeah.
Lastly, we don't have Straight Up Gay Porn produces this whole thing on who took the best photo of the week. But however, we just put it in the link for the use watching us live right now. And Flirt for Free, which is a whole site, has the most watched men of the month. And there's a whole list of them. They're all really sexy and hot. Did you have one? And can you describe it for our listening audio podcast? I'm just going to go. I'll go with number 3, Jonas.
I knew you were going to pick him. I thought you were going to pick him or number 1, Andy Damon.
Jonas Lewis is ethnic persuasion for sure. I love that his hair is just kind of long and not following trends of today, but it's really nice and coiffed. He's got a really great goatee, just that chin goatee, but his waist is teeny tiny. I'm currently working out and trying to get my wedding body together. So I respect the amount of work that this guy is putting in, and it's like insane. He's ripped. He's got these jeans that are acid wash, but they're fitting him really nice. I know acid wash, and some nice boots on, and he's got a fuck you attitude look on his face. I'm here for it. I vote for him. Who do you vote for and why?
So I thought you were going to pick Andy Ramos, who is number 1 with all those tattoos. He's so sexy. But my pick is Denzel Cosby. He's number 6. He's a beautiful brown-skinned man. His muscles are immaculate. They're what I want my body to be, what I aspire for it to be. He is absolutely stunning. He's got on a backward baseball cap. It must be a mirror selfie because he's got his phone held up and he's got on this red thong. And I just want to see the back to see what it looks like from the back. And
Andy, you said Andy, right?
Yeah, Andy. No, Denzel is who I picked.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you were
My
going to pick
fiance
Andy.
says Andy.
Yeah, I thought that's who you were
Who
going
did
to
I
pick.
pick?
You picked number 3, who is Jonas.
Okay, yeah.
And I
And Doug
picked
picks
Denzel.
Justin, Becca. I like that we all have different,
Yeah.
For reference, listening audience, I will post this on tagspodcast.com. Thanks, everybody, for playing. Yeah, this has been so much fun. So let us know how you weigh in on any of these hot topics, because it really makes a difference for us, because we can report back on a future episode. And you can always follow my co-host, Cody Maurice, on Instagram and Blue Sky at Mr. Maurice, But more importantly, download and listen to his current single, I Don't Want to Fight, wherever you get your music. It's a current bop and we love it. Download it now. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. Go to my X or Blue Sky account at Tags Podcast. We will get a preview of my Not Suitable for Work. And in the meantime, continue having hot, gay sex. Lovely. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.